Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back in with this week's episode and all the physical releases coming to the Switch September 30th until October the 4th. Let's take a look what we've got this week. Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream is a fairly big step for the series on the Switch. Why? Well, because it's the first game in the series that's getting a North American physical release on the system. Don't think, guys. There's been 3 Sword Art Online games prior to this one, but they got as far as Europe before giving up and realizing, hey, that Atlantic Ocean is pretty big and we're a pretty niche JRPG series. I don't know much about the series myself, just the word online is enough to put me off completely, but I think the game can be played by one's lonesome. It's all a bit scary for me though. However, they must be pretty decent because Bandai keep on pumping them out. And our executive producers Robotech, Issa, Vey and Josh Foot have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want to order this or any of the games in this episode, then please consider using the links down below in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps support me and this series. VGP are a really nice company with favorable prices in Canadian dollars, plus they have free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 Canadian bucks, which is about 60 American dollars, not that much. Plus, if you do buy something with my link, then each week you'll be put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Robert K. Congratulations, Robert. You should get an email from VGP if you haven't already with your $10 discount coupon. Thank you so much for your support. Conscript should be releasing this week physically. This is a top-down survival game about the horrors of war in the trenches of World War I. I really like the look of this one. Feels like we're going back to the PS1. It's supposed to have complex environmental puzzles, hopefully not just pulling levers and finding keys. I get that when it released digitally, some people were let down, or maybe misinterpreted the PR about it being a horror game. Maybe they were expecting zombies or something, something scary, but I don't think it's quite like that. Either way, despite the crap box art that makes it look like a bargain bin PC game, I will be picking this one up eventually. I Chew Chibi Edition is a game that is definitely not designed for me, but that's not going to stop me from playing it. I should have a video about this on Physical Paradise sometime soon. This is a rhythm game mixed with a visual novel, as dozens of handsome men want to make it in the idol world. It's actually a mobile game from like a decade ago, but now is the first time it's been on consoles and in English. Certainly a unique game. Pepper Grinder is another Devolver Digital darling, although I don't think this one hit quite as hard as they usually do. This game took like 7 years to make, but it's only like 3 or 4 hours long, which I think is its biggest detriment. It has a cool drilling mechanic which feels free-flowing, but with only a handful of worlds, levels and bosses, it kind of released and then disappeared from people's thoughts. And I think Devolver Digital didn't push it as much as they usually do, knowing that it would just be decent and that's it. Most of their titles are like outstanding. And our executive producers Louis K, Viz, Dane Wilkinson, Offphone and Ishin have chosen this as their pick of the week. Maybe I was wrong about it. Garden Witch Life is a cozy life sim getting in on that cooling autumn weather where people want to snuggle up and play cozy games. At least they do if they're living in some sort of fantasy world where comfort and mortgages don't haunt your existence, so you can't do anything cozy. Anyways, out of my world, this is supposed to be a pretty mediocre game if Steam reviews are anything to go by. Good ideas but loads of bugs and lack of polish. It's published by Sodesco, so you do have to worry occasionally about the games that they pump out. SpongeBob SquarePants, the Patrick Star game, was a game that was revealed in like the partner direct, and it was the one that started to make me think, oh god, this is going to be a really bad direct, isn't it? In the end, it wasn't, it was fine, but when you're promoting outright games releases in your direct, you must be struggling for something good to talk about. If you want to roll around like the eponymous moron, then go ahead, it's releasing this week. If you want a Steelbook edition, that is exclusive to Best Buy in North America. In Europe, we are also getting 4 Shmup releases. Yes, Esp Galuda 2, Mushihime-sama, Dodonpachi Resurrection, and Radiant Silvergun are all releasing by themselves at retail in Europe this week. Yes, these were done by Limited Run in North America and have had Asian and Japanese releases already, but now it is Europe's turn. Alright, let's jump into the low print releases. Berserk Boy is a game that I personally thought Super Rare Games was going to do, since one of their former employees wouldn't stop talking about this game when it released digitally, but no, it's Red Art Games, and it is exclusive to Europe. It's a high-speed action platformer with a tinge of Metroidvania. It also has lots of feelings of Mega Man X. It is a good game. In Europe, the standard edition will be at retail, but exclusive to Red Art Games' website, they have a deluxe edition, which is the same price as the standard edition, but comes with a unique cover sleeve, acrylic stand, and a double-sided poster. Not bad for the same price. This is limited to just 500 copies though. There is also going to be a collector's edition, which is limited to 2,000 copies, and this includes a steel book, along with other stuff, just without the sleeve. If you want these, you can pre-order via the links below in the description and pinned comment from redartgames.com. You can get 10% off with the code SWatch10. VGP will also be carrying some copies of the standard edition and the collector's edition, which you can pre-order from there if you're in North America. Maybe that's more convenient for you. And our executive producer Instacritic has chosen this as his pick of the week. Penny's Big Breakaway is one of two really interesting limited run releases this week. Firstly, this one should have been at retail. I think it was hyped up enough. It's a 3D platformer, many saying it's the kind of Sonic platformer that the Sega Saturn should have had. Obviously not as good looking as this, it's supposedly very good, not without its flaws such as depth perception being difficult to judge and having a fixed camera. Certainly not perfect, but a very enjoyable time. Pre-orders have opened up on Limited Run's website in a standard and collector's edition. Just a shame they didn't do it earlier, like the studio had to lay off 6 people a couple of weeks ago. Maybe this could have helped them out. Pumpkin Jack is their second game this week, and oh my lord, now people can finally stop asking me if this game is gonna get a physical release. That's not a complaint for me, I'm happy to try and help you guys, but this is probably the most requested physical game I've ever had. There was Raji at one point, but since that got a physical release via Premium Edition Games, this has taken over as the most requested. And I did talk to the developers about it, who were, they were reluctant to talk about it. And it's taken a long time, for no real reason in my opinion, but yeah, it's finally coming. You can pre-order it later this week. It's a 3D action platformer, a bit like Medieval on the PS1, looks great, fun to play, it's a winner. And our executive producers, Cartoon Soren, God of Resin, Punky Dooster, and Thorn Metal Luna have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the imports, yes, Play Asia territory. If you want to purchase anything from Play Asia, remember to click the link down below, and also you can use the code Jordan24 to get 5% off anything on their website. Now this week there's only one import that you may want to import, Meiji Tokyo Renka Full Moon. It's definitely a maybe, since it's your classic otome. Your modern girl is transported to the Meiji era to meet handsome, effeminate dudes. Don't you just love it when that happens? It's supposed to be pretty decent, and it does have English, so VN Otome fans will no doubt want to import this, despite it being an older title. Yeah, it was a PSP release from 2013. But this is the first time it's been in English. And our executive producer Feig has chosen this as their pick of the week. Japan is also getting Honey Vibes, which does not have English. But before I move on to the community spotlight, I should give a shout out to Thunder Ray, one of Play Asia's exclusives, which was sent out last week, which was earlier than I expected. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's taken a while for them to send it out, but I thought it was early October. But no, it was last week. This is a Punch-Out style action game that came in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, both of which are still available right now with the links down below in the description. Alright, let's move on to the community spotlight. Yusha sent in this photo picking up a bunch of Red Art Games releases. I think all of these games are currently available on their website still. I've always wanted to try the Scoutfold games but never had the chance. Stefan N sent in this photo highlighting the most recent train game to hit Japan, and the second one that includes English, Choo Choo, Frederick W. sent in this photo showing off these games, some golden oldies on the Switch, but Prince of Persia still pretty new, and finally, like all Ubisoft games, the price has started to plummet. It's been $20 now. Kevin W. sent in this photo. Alongside making a horror-themed physical-related video for this month, I'm also making a new JRPG edition of all the JRPGs that have physical releases. So I've been writing about the Atelier series just before I started making this video, actually, and they've announced 2 more Atelier games for next year alone. Jesus Christ. Choco Loco James sent in this photo picking up Trip World DX with its very minimalistic artwork. I think that's how it was on the Game Boy. Cute game, but I didn't get far on the 3DS Virtual Console version. Wimpy sent in this photo, seemingly picking up Bravely Default 2 for €11. Like, can I live in your country, please? Executive producer Lewis K sent in this photo, picking up the latest Zelda release. And we're going to see a fair bit in this week's episode, and next week's too, I would assume. Sadly, I have not had the time to play as of yet. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo, picking up a bunch of imports, including 3 Kingdoms. Sadly, it seems the remake of 8, which I'm massively excited about, by the way. There's no sign of an English physical release for that one. Come on, guys, just announce it, please. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this photo with the Hellboy game. Again, this is probably more for fans of the IP rather than for fans of video games. Not the most well put together video game ever, but it does the IP justice, if that makes sense. Executive producer Feig sent in this photo, picking up a couple of visual novel-ish games and Zelda with a lovely shiny coin. Now, I'm not one for pre-order bonuses unless it's like a soundtrack CD, but that's pretty cool. West Country Blue sent in this photo with 3 eclectic games. I'm always curious about those emergency service games. Like, is there ever going to be like a AAA firefighting game? That could be awesome. Starvey sent in this photo with loads of games. They picked up Dordogne, the normal cover edition, which is at retail, and that looks lovely too. Still prefer the limited edition though. My Man in Japan, executive producer Vei, sent in this photo picking up the collector's edition of Ikki Unite, which comes with that Famicom style box. Nice touch. Hope the game is good. Alright, let's have a roundup. I'm working this weekend, so yeah, time is not on my side. Martin. McLaren. Reg. Robin H. Andrew R. Yum Yum Game. Phil R. Jeannie and Alan. Kraken. Benjamin A. Hitike. Crobat Lover. Ashura G. Elissa. Needless Dragon. Cressalak. Philip M. Lil Cat. Mickey McFlynn. The Enemy Parasite. Alright, please send me your pictures on Twitter if you can. DM me at SoWhatAboutGame. If you can't do that, use the email address SwitchWatchSpotlight@gmail.com and our Discord. The server link is probably below. Submit your picture in the submission section once I open it up. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Get Physical. Special thanks, as always, to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punkidusta, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Issa, Vei, Offone, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Viz, and Lewis K. Plus you, who watching right now. If you watched all the way through, what a legend you are. If you managed to watch all the way through, please leave me a pumpkin emoji in the comments in honor of Pumpkin Jack. Please go check out Physical Paradise, my other channel. There is a lot of physical goodness over there that you definitely want to watch, okay? Yeah, go watch that stuff if you like physical goodness. I'll see you guys over there. Take care.